Hey everyone, this is Dawood Muhammad from GoodCreditAmerica.com. I just have a few things I want to go over with you real quick. Okay, so I want to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 myths. 6 myths about credit. Okay, so what the first myth is: everyone has a credit score. Everyone has a credit score. A credit score, and that's just not the case. Typically, not everyone has a credit score. If you don't have any credit, then you won't have a credit score. Or if you haven't used your credit in a long time, then you won't have a credit score. And a lot of times, if all you have on your credit report is negative information, you won't have a credit score. So very seldom do you run into a situation like that, but it does happen. So that's the first one. Not everyone has a credit score, right? Second one, you have to have a job to have credit. That's not true. Okay? I'm sorry, I should not erase that. You have to have a job. You have to have a job. No, that's 2, to have credit, and that's not necessarily true. As long as you have an income, even if you're in business for yourself, you can project that income. Business entrepreneurs, you can basically project your income, and it's totally legal. So you don't necessarily have to have a job in order to have credit. To build credit, you have to go into debt. You got to go into debt. And that's not true. So that's a myth as it relates to credit, that you got to go into debt in order to have credit. Because if you open up a credit card and pay it off, at the end of the pay period, or pay it in full at the end of the month, obviously you wouldn't be in credit. You wouldn't be in debt. So that's not the case. Number 4, having a lot of credit is bad for your score. Number 4, having a lot of credit is bad for your score. That's not the case, because you can have as many credit cards as you like. The thing is how you go about them, how you line up those inquiries. It's basically how you go about it that can affect your score, but not necessarily how many cards that you have. Having a lot of credit cards can affect your score. Let me put it this way: it can affect your score, but not necessarily negatively. It can increase your score, obviously, but if you do it the wrong way, it can decrease your score. So if you bunch a lot of inquiries together, in some cases they only appear as one inquiry as it relates to the algorithm with the FICO system. So I got 2 more, and then we're gonna be done. All right. There we go. If you pay all your bills, on time, you'll have good credit. Now there are exceptions, to the rule. Let's say, for example, unless you have, there's a company called Rent Reporters. what they do is they report your rent payments, and it goes on your credit report. The only disadvantage is that I think they only use TransUnion at the time. I'm not trying to hold it out. They only use TransUnion. So, but for the most part, if you pay all your bills on time, let's say for your rent, for example, it'll have an effect on your credit, and that's not the case except if you have rent reporters or a service that is similar to rent reporters, because they typically don't report to your credit bureaus. And the last one, number 6, is inquiries can ruin your credit. Now, what people don't know is inquiries affect your credit, but only to the point as it relates to your credit score. So let's say, for example, if you have a 700 credit score, and you had 6 inquiries, right? And each inquiry takes 5 points. You might lose 30 points. Still puts you at a 670. You know what I mean? That typically it's not going to be exactly 5 points. It may be 2 to 3 points, depending on where you are as far as your credit is concerned. But the worse your credit is, the bigger impact it have on you. Because if you have a 500 credit score, and you do 7 inquiries, and it's 3, 7 inquiries times 3 points an inquiry, that's 21 points. 21 points for 500 just bring you down. So it affects you more if you have bad credit. If you have good credit, it doesn't. Now, another thing about the inquiries is when they group together, they don't really affect you that much when they're grouped together. For example, let's say you're looking for a car, right? You go out and you buy a car, and a lot of times what happens is dealers send that credit report to different financial lending institutions to see if they get you approved for that vehicle. So they may send it to 10 different companies. So now you have 10 inquiries, right? But there's an allowance for that as it relates to your credit scores. Or in the same case with mortgages, right? So if you're looking for a mortgage and you end up with a number of inquiries, there's an allowance for that. So I wouldn't be that concerned about it. But listen, if you have any questions, give me a call. 678-813-6013, or you can call me on my phone. My cell phone is 404-437-3338. And this is Dawood Muhammad, GoodCreditAmerica.com. Thank you.